and if you haven't already read the title of this video, I'm going to be delving into, my top decade-defining anime. I really got into anime probably late 2000s, going into 2010 is when I started watching it like religiously. This video is pretty self-explanatory. It's been making its circuit around YouTube, and I thought I, would just share my, 2 pence because I like animes that other YouTubers might not like. Yeah, kicking off in 2010. Back then I was 16, I had just started my A-levels and I needed an escape, and this is where anime and all that goodness came in. My pick, for 2010 is Maid Sama. This series is, very humorous, it's got some great characters and, plot development. It's a little over the top at times and it's not for everybody, but I really like it, and it's one that I go back to, now. I'm just going to be honest with you though, if you get a chance, I highly recommend watching the sub over the dub. Usually I'm all for the dubs, but this is one time I did not like the dub cast, so I recommend, you watch the sub. A couple of honourable mentions I'm going to throw into the mix is Black Butler and Digimon Fusion. I am a massive Black Butler fan, and well, who doesn't love Digimon? I can already see in the comments people that like Pokemon don't like Digimon, so I'm prepared for the hate. 2011, I was entering my second year of A-levels. I was beyond stressed out and I had to prepare for university because I knew I wanted to go. I just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And my pick, for 2011 is Fate Zero. It is one of my favourite light novel series of all times. 2011 is when I really got big into reading light novels, and this is one of the first ones I came across, and I instantly fell in love. I love all things like RPG, fantasy, like a little bit of sci-fi, some great characters, some questionable, story elements. I highly recommend though you read the light novel. There are some people that hate light novels and I love them. If you want more character development, I highly recommend, you read the light novel or read the manga before watching the anime, but you can easily watch the anime and not read the other material attached to it. Oh, this series, perfection. My couple of honourable mentions for 2011 are Blue Exorcist and Inazuma 11. Blue Exorcist I kind of dip in and out of. I've really got into it more recently, so I'm going back and re-watching it. And Inazuma 11 is probably my all-time favourite sport anime. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's got an amazing English theme song opening. In the year 2012, I had just successfully finished my A-levels, I'd got passing grades, and I'd been accepted into my first university, choice, which was Liverpool John Moores in Liverpool, and I was off to study creative writing and film and be an all-around amazing writer. And my choice for anime of 2012 is Sword Art Online. And yes, I can already, see you guys eye-rolling and all the hate comments. I don't like the anime, as much now I go back and I've watched some of it, but back then 18-year-old Beth was blown away by, the art style, the characters, the voice acting. It was a good anime to some degree, and yes, I understand it can be universally hated or panned by, anime lovers, but you can't not admit to yourselves that it's very memorable, and for a lot of people it got them into anime. So Sword Art Online is my pick for 2012 and I have no shame. My honourable mentions of 2012 are Psycho-Pass and Kids on the Slope. Both great. Both could have easily been my pick for 2012, but I had to go with Sword Art Online overall. Moving on to 2013, I was 19. I had just joined, my best friend Charlie's society at university. I had joined the Tabletop Gaming Society. I had just got back into Magic the Gathering and playing D&D. And university gives you a lot of free time, so I had a lot more time to, watch anime and read manga and pretty much just absorb the culture. So this was the main bulk for me when I just spent the year watching and reading and falling in love with pretty much every anime that came my way. And my pick is Diabolik Lovers. Yes, I can, again, just like Sword Art Online, I can already, see some eye rolls and some, trolls in the comments. I'm a girl. It appeals to girls. I have no shame in saying that I really like this show, this series. Each character has like a unique personality and the voice actors portrayed that perfectly. You know, sometimes when you get animes that are based or aimed at girls, a lot of people hate it. It's good. I liked it. You know, some good visuals, some questionable story arcs or story points. A lot of animes can be very questionable at times, but hey ho, Diabolik Lovers, if you ain't watched it, or you know, you ain't played the games, I recommend, you know, you, after this video, you go and take your time and, you know, do your homework, guys. My honourable mentions for 2013 are The Devil is a Part-Timer and My Youth Romantic Comedy is Wrong as I Expected. It's a really long title, I wrote it down, that's why I looked down, guys. Moving into 2014, I was 20, I was moving into like my second year of university, and it's at this time that your university lecturers start questioning what you want to do after graduation. And if I was being honest with you guys, I was in a creative slump and I did not know what I want to do with my life after university. And my pick for this year is Free. Yes, this anime got me back into swimming, although there weren't as many cute guys at my local swimming pool, which was a shame. It's just so fun, you know, upbeat, you know, there's tension, there's suspense, there's drama, there's laughs, there's love. This is also potentially the first anime that really got me in, you know, to the whole shipping culture, which then sent me down that downhill spiral, going back and watching past animes to see if I could come up with any favourite ships in the future. And oh good god, once that ship sails, you are screwed. And I haven't looked back since. My honourable mentions for 2014 are Tokyo Ghoul and Haiku. Again, sport anime. It's my guilty pleasure. I am obsessed with sport anime. I can't so much read like mangas because they're like, oh my god, they're so long, but sport anime, tick, tick, tick. And Tokyo Ghoul, yes, people didn't really like it. I prefer, you know, the manga over the anime, but there were some good parts in the first season at least, so that's why it got my honourable mention. My honourable mention, good god, I can't speak. 2015 rolled around, I was 21, I had just graduated university, I was living in a house share with my best friend Charlie here in Liverpool, I was unemployed and I was on the dole. You know what I mean, if you're British, I was collecting benefits because I was unemployed, I was pretty much depressed and full of anxiety. 2015 was not my year, but we're not here to talk about my depressing life, we're here to talk about anime. And my pick for 2015 was Death Parade. I was at a pretty like low point after university, a pretty low point in my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And this kind of dark anime just kind of spoke to me, you know. There were great art styles, I loved the characters, and I became really obsessed with the opening theme song. And it just felt like, you know what? Yeah, this was made for me. Even though it wasn't. It's also probably the first time that I got involved in like a community and discovered that there were other people that loved this anime just as much as I did, and it kind of opened the door to a lot more online friends, and I kind of felt better about myself even if really I didn't feel that good about myself. My honourable mentions for 2015 are Food Wars and Seraph of the End. Seraph of the End, I love vampires through and through. This is an amazing anime, it's an amazing manga, highly recommend you check it out. And Food Wars, I love food. I can't cook to save my life, I can bake, so I like watching animes that make me feel bad about my lack of cooking skills. In 2016, I just turned 22. I was living in a flat with my still flatmate Kate, who I have mentioned on my other channel. I was still unemployed and I was doing volunteer work at local charity shops. My pick though for 2016 is Re:Zero or Re:Zero. Some people say it either way. Don't crucify me in the comments. Just like with Fate Zero, this is one of my favourite, you know, light novel series. I just fell in love with, you know, the cute characters. You know, I love like a strong RPG fantasy element, and you know, this series just ticked all the boxes. There was also like a lot of like tense and like suspenseful moments in this series. A lot of people really like this anime, so I'm happy that I'm not alone in liking it. It also gave us some prime waifu material, although if I had to pick my favourite character, it would be Puck. I have never wanted a talking cat companion as much as I wanted after watching this anime. My honourable mentions for this year are Yuri on Ice and Taboo Tattoo. Yuri on Ice, that anime got around, and Taboo Tattoo, you know, if you don't know what it's about, I'm not going to spoil it. Go check it out and then get back to me in the comments. In 2017, I was 23. I was finally employed at Sainsbury's. I was writing more short stories and getting involved, you know, in like the YouTube community and like the anime community, and it kind of felt like my life was semi back on track. My pick though for, you know, my 2017 anime is Little Witch Academia. I do like my anime quite varied, if you can't already tell, you know, from this list. I was a massive Harry Potter fan when I was little, and I kind of always wanted to be a witch, and pardon the pun, but this series is magical. It's just so cute, it's adorable, it knows what it's doing when it like pulls you in, you know, it's like, oh, come and watch one episode. And that turns into, you know, binging a whole season. Even though you now have a job and adult responsibilities. But it's a good series that I highly recommend you check out. My honourable mentions this year are Secure Request and Gamers. Check them out. They're very solid. You do yourself a favour. After this video, of course. The year is 2018. Beth here is 24. I was living life, I was working, I was paying bills, I am renting a flat with, you know, one of my closest friends. I was reading, writing and watching so much anime, as well as developing ideas for my own light novel series. Who knows, there might be a video on that in the future. And my pick for this year, it was very diverse, but you know, there was one anime that stood out, and that was Angels of Death. If I woke up in a cellar with like a scythe-wielding killer stood over me, I would want him on my side. This series is very dark, but it's very much about accepting differences and giving people second chances, even if it is about like a ton of serial killers, if it means escaping. I really like Funimation's dub, and so I recommend, you know, you check that out. The voice actors really brought the characters to life in this dark world, gave them personality, and you know what? I'm obsessed, you know, with like anything serial killer murder related, so of course this series was going to, you know, strike my cold black heart. My two honourable mentions for this year was How Not to Summon a Demon Lord and Goblin Slayer. Shock horror, I am obsessed with Goblin Slayer, and How Not to Summon a Demon Lord is, just go and check it out, you won't regret it. And rounding off this decade-defining anime list is 2019. I was 25, I was living my life, I kind of have everything on track except I don't have a partner, which really upsets my grandma every time I go home. So apparently 2020 is the year, you know, I need to find love, because I didn't have any the previous decade, so fingers crossed. This is not a dating video, so I don't know why I'm saying that, but my pick for 2019 is Beastars. This series follows carnivores living in a herbivore society. Pretty much everyone is an animal. They live, they have jobs, they go to work, they go to school. It kind of sounds like hipsters and millennials, if I'm being honest, or, you know, millennials and boomers. Oh, do you remember when that was a thing back in 2019? Never before have I been so in love with a wolf. I'm not at all into furries or that culture, but oh my god, the main character, just hits me in the feels. This series is very unique and very different to what's out there. I recommend, you know, you can read the manga, you can watch the anime, do both, you know, go and support this amazing show, and you will see why myself and a lot of other YouTubers here on YouTube recommend it and can't talk highly enough about it. My final two honourable mentions of 2019 and rounding off this decade list are the quintessential quintuplets and Fire Force. It should come as no surprise, I love Fire Force. Quintessential quintuplets was actually a series that was introduced to me earlier in the year, and I only got into checking out partway through the year, and I immediately fell in love with the characters. Oh my god, yes, yes, yes. That just wraps up my, you know, decade of anime. Good god, we're now in 2020. Here's to the next one. Hopefully it's just as good. If you have different animes you liked, then be sure, you know, to talk about it in the comments, and, you know, we can start a conversation. You know, click that like button if you liked the video and want to see, you know, more content here on the channel. I am Beth. Until next week, goodbye.